And now joining us via Skype with more on the airstrikes in Aleppo, Syria, is Middle East expert from the Begin-Sadat Center at Ilan University, Dr. Mordechai Kedar. Dr. Kedar, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, Aaron.
All right, so first of all, I want to start with, these strikes, it's pretty much assumed that Israel is behind them, although Israel has not confirmed that. Do you believe that that changes anything in the eyes of the international community with respect to the Golan Heights, with respect to treatment of Iran, Syria, etc.?
No, there is a kind of, I would say, hypocrisy when it comes to the international arena. On one side, many, I would say nobody recognizes the Israeli sovereignty over the Golan, and a matter of fact, Israel never claimed to be a sovereign on the Golan, because sovereignty is being done by agreements. Yet, I think that most of the world supports the Israeli fight against the Iranian presence in Syria. The world divides sharply between the question of the Golan on one side and the question of Iran and Syria on the other side. While the world does not support Israel or Israel's claim to the Golan, the world implicitly, quietly, without saying it, supports the Israeli attacks on the Iranians. And this is, I would say, some kind of a division of standpoints when it comes to Israel, the Golan, Syria, and Iran.
Okay, but then why the charade? Why the big play? Because I understand the politics of in the international kind of relations of saying, oh, we have to reject this because it looks bad. But at the same time, if it makes the most sense, if it is the most peaceful solution, why the song and dance? Why does nobody from Europe or anybody in the EU or at the UN agreeing with this other than the United States?
Look, if you legitimize the Israeli presence on the Golan, you have to legitimize the Turkish occupation of North Cyprus. You have to agree to what the Russians did in the Ukraine, in the Crimean Peninsula, and you have to agree to many other countries which occupied all kinds of parts of other countries.
Well, but hold on, because on the other hand, while we can make that argument about occupying powers and having to agree with everything else if you agree with one, on the other hand, Israel gained the 2/3 of the Golan in a defensive war. Syria started that war, and they lost that land. So is Israel really beholden to giving that back?
The international arena doesn't make any difference between acquiring a land through a war or through other violent things. The world has to work according to the borders which are internationally recognized and by the United Nations as well. This is a very, very basic rule all over the world, because otherwise there will be a big mayhem.
All right. Well, on that note, I think I'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Kedar, and shedding some light on this.
No problem. Bye.